So let's talk Francie boy, Pope Francis, latest news. Pope Francis and Indonesian Grand Imam call for inter-religious action to fight climate change. The Instagol Declaration calls on religious leaders to respond to the crises of dehumanization and climate change, while also urging continued religious cooperation. Indonesia is characterized by a heavy Muslim population alongside a minority of Catholics. So again, towards your one world religion and your Abrahamic brotherhood coming together as one and being strong together, building towards that one world faith where they'll all ultimately worship evil and the devil and the Antichrist and stand for him. You see these foundational statements and documents and movements by these big power players, the big grand imams and Pope Francie boy, coming together regularly to build that foundation that is going to disappear under them at the sight of Jesus Christ when he returns at the end of the 7 years. Then while he was busy with this, there was a terror plot to kill Pope Francis, which was foiled. 7 suspects arrested after swearing ISIS allegiance. The terror plot to kill Pope Francis was uncovered with Indonesian cops swooping on 7 suspects believed to be ISIS. The foiled ploy targeted the Pope during his visit to Indonesia, where he started a 12-day tour of the Asia Pacific. The suspects were arrested across September 2 and 3 after cops were tipped off by concerned citizens. Cops raided one of the alleged militants' houses to find bow and arrows, a drone, and ISIS leaflets, according to the Straits Times. So that's interesting. For those that have him up as a candidate for Antichrist, if he got assassinated and came back, pretty big sign. Just saying. I still have him pegged as the false prophet. So, transgender males in conservative Indonesia praise Pope Francis for his pro-LGBT message. When we got Francis as Pope, I realized that God was really listening, said a person identified as Mummy Yuli, who the Times referred to as leader of the trans community in Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. So he's saying he realized God was really listening when they got this Pope as the Pope. Definitely God small g, Lucifer, not big G, proper God. His next statement confirms that 100% if you think I'm being out there with that statement. He says, "This is not the Pope, but God himself visiting us." Black and white in their article, not a Christian release or anything, him just talking, that this is not the Pope. Francie boy is not just the Pope. Francie boy, according to him, the trans leader, is God himself. See how they're setting the stage for the point that they will reach where Antichrist will walk into the temple, sit down in the Holy of Holies and pronounce himself God to be worshipped. And people will go along with this in the majority. I don't know how anybody can still be sitting, drinking their coffee and eating their breakfast, thinking things are normal and everything's fine. It's still thousands of years before the Lord comes back, or many, many decades at least, when we're this far along the preparatory phase for the final week and everything is screaming, wake up, watch, lest this come upon you without you realizing it. Shalom.